So I'm going to show you a clip of Hillary Clinton live on CNN, and she's going to go absolutely unhinged here. Now, I know many of you are probably tired of seeing this lady. She's kind of like a bad hemorrhoid that just keeps coming back. But I think it's really important to break down what she's saying and see how she tries to gaslight the other side. So let's go ahead and play this. I'm probably going to stop it a few times when I think it's necessary to interject. I hope you guys get a lot out of this. Let's go.
And we had very bitter battles over all kinds of things, gun control and climate change and the economy and taxes. But there wasn't this little tail of extremism wagging the dog of the Republican Party as it is today. Mm-hmm. And sadly,
wave of extremism wagging its tail at the Republican Party, as if there's no extremism on the left side. Zero, nothing. We haven't seen anything in the last, 4 or 5 years.
So many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump, who has no credibility left.
I hate to stop it again. Those MAGA extremists who are taking their orders from Donald Trump. These so-called quote-unquote MAGA extremists make America great again. Really, where they take their orders from is a specific ideology that the politicians who have been in charge for the last decades or so make America the last priority. The first priority is everyone and everything else. Power for themselves, priority for themselves, their friends, companies, other foreign entities, foreign countries, migrants, every other entity except for America. So they're not at the beck and call of Donald Trump. What they really want to see is America put first.
By any measure, he's only in it for himself. He's now defending himself in civil actions and criminal actions. And when do they break with him? Because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members. But
did you just hear that? At some point, there might need to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members. Do you understand what she's saying? She's saying people that are following this idea, who would call themselves MAGA or Make America Great Again or whatever, even vote for Donald Trump, we may need to formally deprogram them. They're cult members. This is insane. This type of stuff isn't, as much as I would disagree with her ideologies, I would never espouse anything like needing to formally deprogram those who are liberal. Although I do think it's a disease of the mind to be in that place. If that's how somebody wants to think and that's how they want to live and they're doing it themselves and not trying to hurt others with it, then that's on them. But to formally deprogram them, I think we've seen stuff like this in the past, and that's very extreme and unhinged.
Something needs to happen.
And how do you do that? Because you said you have to defeat them by defeating their leader. Their leader is Donald Trump. Even you have said that you expect him to be the Republican nominee. How does this change at all?
At this point, I think, sadly, he will still likely be the nominee, and we have to defeat him. And we have to defeat those who are the election deniers, as we did in 2020 and 2022.
The election deniers, as if she wasn't denying the election in 2016 when she lost, and others in her party as well.
And we have to, just be smarter about how we are trying to empower the right people inside the Republican Party.
She wants to empower the right people inside the Republican Party. What is she talking about? That's right. The right people in the Republican Party and the right people in the Democratic Party work together. This is what we've been seeing for decades. This is why people are so frustrated, because it seems like nobody on any side is getting this right. In fact, it's like this good old boy and good old girls club and the old George Carlin joke, right? These people are in control. You're not. They're going to stay in control. And we just got to get the same old people back in, those right Republicans.
Nancy Pelosi had a majority of 5 votes when she was Speaker. Kevin McCarthy had a majority of 5 votes. Nancy Pelosi passed consequential legislation. And she clearly had members within her caucus who, ranged across a spectrum of political beliefs and ideology. And she kept everybody together. And she kept everybody focused on the future. Mm-hmm. He couldn't do that. And so he paid a price, but more importantly, the country paid a price.
And so
she's talking about the fact that Kevin McCarthy was just voted out, and that Nancy Pelosi, even though she had, extremists as well, she was able to do this. There's a big difference, though. On the Republican side, you're finally getting individuals who are so sick and tired of the same garbage and toxic crap being shoved down the mouths of the American people. They're finally saying no. People have been asking this for a long time. I mean, does anyone think that the Congress, House of Representatives, Senate has been doing a great job in the last 4 decades? No. We're asking them, can we please get our act together? And there's a group of people that are finally saying, we are done with the nonsense. We are done with these crazy bills. We are done with you packing these bills and bloating them with what you want, taking something that's necessary and shoving all of the junk in there that you want. We want single line item bills, which is common sense. We want to be fiscally responsible, which is common sense. We want to balance our budget, which is common sense. We want to secure our borders, which is common sense. We want to stop flooding other countries with hundreds of millions of dollars when people here in the United States could use that money. I know I have a lot of people watching who are on Social Security, who are receiving aid because they need it. Imagine if the United States of America wasn't depleting all of its funds to foreign entities and actually stuck that into programs for veterans and elderly individuals and those who really need help. Could you imagine? But they don't do this. These are common sense things that a small group of Republicans are now saying they're done with seeing the same stuff happen again. That's the difference. The Democrats, who are now tired of what's happening and what they're seeing, they're actually switching their political parties. We're seeing this happening a lot where they're no longer following that. So that's what's happening on the liberal end if they're waking up enough to the nonsense.
when you see another matchup between potentially Trump and President Biden, what goes through your mind? And particularly, how do you process that this person who defeated you back in 2016 is still at it, given all that you've said? 91 indictments, civil fraud, sexual transgressions according to the courts. How
including Hillary Clinton paying for fake dossiers and trying to get him hooked onto this Russiagate for years. The fact that she's even talking to this lady who did this is insane. But yeah, Donald Trump, he's indicted. He's the one who's doing all this stuff. Anyway,
how is this still happening?
It's the classic tale of an authoritarian populist who really has a grip on the emotional, psychological needs and desires of a portion of the population.
What she is describing is literally what liberal and Democrat leaders have been doing for decades. It is called the welfare state. It's a revolving door of political control over a certain populace, primarily in poor, overpopulated, highly criminalized cities. And in these places where they keep it exactly the same year after year, it never gets better, ever. Decade after decade. And what do these liberal Democrat leaders do? They promise them handouts. Don't worry about that. We're going to give you money. We're going to give you social programs. We're going to keep you in a welfare state. So yes, things are terrible for you, but we're going to blame them while they're terrible for you, even though we've been leading your cities forever and putting these programs into place. What she's saying is in fact a projection of what she and others like her have been doing for decades on a group of individuals, in this case, a very large group of individuals, nearly half the country, if not maybe even a little bit more. Yet she pushes it off like Donald Trump's the one who's doing this. Unhinged.
The base of the Republican Party, for whatever combination of reasons, and it is emotional and psychological, sees in him someone who speaks for them. And they are determined that they will continue to vote for him, attend his rallies, wear his merchandise, because for whatever reason, he and his very negative, nasty form of politics resonates with them. Maybe they don't like migrants. maybe they don't like gay people or black people, or the woman who got the promotion at work they didn't get, whatever.
Maybe they don't like migrants. There is no one who doesn't like migrants. The people that are saying that they're sick and tired of what's going on, or they call themselves MAGA, are tired of our border being infiltrated without any consequence. They're tired of millions of people flooding in without proper background checks. Individuals coming in and soaking up all of the financial systems that's here, working their ways. Now, these people, no one hates these people. I understand why these people are coming in here. I get it. I get the migrants. Not only do I not hate the migrants, I probably basically love the migrants. And in fact, most of them, genuinely care about their situation. But it does not make it right what a group of leaders in our country are doing by keeping our borders unendingly open to anyone who's going to walk through here illegally, not using the right process, and essentially just throwing them into the communities for obvious political reasons. No one hates the migrants. And then she says, hates gay people? Nobody hates gay people. What is going on is we are seeing a particular agenda where individuals are starting to push sexualized teachings on young children. And this is becoming younger and younger and younger. It is absolutely insane and strange. I'm going to show you a quick clip here of this lady who's the director of education and administration at High Tops, because many people don't believe this. Oh, you're crazy. They're not trying to do this with younger kids. Absolutely, they are. So let me just play this and then take from it what you will.
However, early intervention is key. So we actually are designing a kindergarten through grade 2 curriculum this summer. And I will tell you, one of the most rewarding experiences, Nikki, we were in a local school system in an elementary school, and we were in grades 3, 4, and 5. And after we were there, 5 students went to the principal's office and came out. So we are really intentionally going into younger and younger grades.
They're making programs for kindergarten. We're talking 5-year-olds, in some cases 4-year-olds. They're making programs. Now, these are specifically sexualized programs. So they're gender sexualized programs to 4-year-olds. Listen, I don't know if you have kids out there. I have 4 of them. 4-year-olds can't even aim into the toilet correctly. They don't even know how to wipe their butts yet. They believe in insane things, fairy tales that aren't even real. And they're going to start talking to these 4-year-olds and confusing the daylights out of them. And they're doing this on purpose. They're creating these programs. They're going into the elementary schools. They're already, she went into the 3rd and 4th and 5th grade, but they want to get it earlier. And they won't stop at kindergarten. You think they're going to push it into preschool stuff as well. They don't care. We are over sexualizing our kids. Nobody hates gay people. We want you to leave the kids alone. Let them be kids. You are damaging them. You are putting stuff in front of their minds and in their eyes and in their ears that they should not be listening to. This is what people don't like. So when Hillary Clinton is saying, well, maybe you don't like the migrant or the gay person or the black person, this is crazy. There is no one who falls there. This is a logical fallacy that she's putting forth. See, the real thing that people don't like is actually happening in front of our eyes. But what don't listen to what this person's saying. They just don't like the black person. They just don't like the migrant person. I thought it was important to break down this clip for you and just show you exactly where these individuals are coming from, how they think, and how they project their ideas on a group of people that are watching them. Because I guarantee you, there's a bunch of parrots at home that are watching Hillary Clinton on CNN, and after she got done speaking, they go, wow, see, that was really good. But if they would open their eyes and their minds to the reality of what she's saying, you realize how absolutely unhinged and crazy this stuff is. I just want you to bring you back to one thing she said. We're going to have to bring about a formal deprogramming of these cult members. I don't even know how to describe how insane that is, how absolutely insane that is. So I'll leave you with that one. Did you enjoy this? If you enjoyed this, I'll do more of these video breakdowns. If you really liked it, let me know in the comments below. What are you thinking? Glad to have you along with me. As always, I'll catch you on the next one.